it is you get this, your friendly neighborhood old soldier. Coming at you again from Robeson County, North Carolina. And I'm watching the doves fly out of here just as fast as they can get, because I think down here Monday was the first day of dove season. My wife and I went outside to walk the dogs, and it sounded like an anti-aircraft gunfight going on. Ba-boom, 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 boom. I mean, everybody and their brother was already at it. Right at the first light of day. Anyways, for you, Brother Kyle. Sad news to start off with. If you don't know, it was released yesterday. One of the greats in the 2A and the shooting in the gun community, Paul Harrell, has passed. He has lost his battle with pancreatic cancer. So he'll take a moment of time sometime today to pause, reflect, pray for his family and friends as they go through the grieving period process. Pray for Roy that he can continue to keep the channel going, as that was one of Paul's hopes, if you will, that the channel would continue after his passing. So, but to you, Mr. Harrell, you will be sorely, sorely missed, sir. God rest your soul. Thank you for your service to our country. Alrighty, folks. I didn't really want to start the day off with that, but I figured some of y'all might not have already gotten the words, so do my part in sharing that bad bit of news. Watched another video where the ATF is finally getting their PP spanked in more ways than one, which they needed. I'm also watching the political race, if you will, start to take off. Not that it hadn't already, but as we're only 2 months away from the election, as my son said the other day, let the shit show begin. Not safe for work with kids, there's your warning. But my son had a very valid point, because not only at the national level, where I'm talking about state and local level, the crap show's beginning. Here in North Carolina, they have been doing everything in their power to discredit, lie, cheat, steal, otherwise insinuate that Mark Robinson is the son of the devil. They keep bringing up his past. He keeps having to come and defend it. It's got to stop. So I'm just giving you my 3 cents worth. As to what may happen in November. I've got no faith in the election system at any level right now. This state's been notorious for stealing elections. They've been called out, nothing ever happens. Last 2 elections, reports came in from a certain set of counties of people driving across the border one day and voting in. Actually, there was one year that a group of people drove across 3 counties and voted in all 3 counties in the same day. That was under the state's register and vote the same day at early voting. Of course, at that time there was no voter ID law. This will be the first year in North Carolina history that you'll have to present an ID that the law has not been stricken down. North Carolina passed that measure twice, but the Supreme Court somehow, some way, said it was unconstitutional based on the type of ID that needed to be presented. So let's make that the focus of today's conversation. Voter ID. One guy I was watching, I think it was on YouTube, might have been Stinkergram or Shitbook, whatever you want to call it. And he was going around doing an interview, and it was New York City. Of course, he went up in the liberal parts, and he was asking about, specifically was asking about, can black people get, is it easy for black people to get photo ID? All these white libtard liberals, like, no, and it has to do with socio-economic factors, or the fact that the DMV is too far away, or they don't know how to use the internet, or they can't afford an internet provider. This guy goes on and on. I think his video is a couple, 3 years old, but it still goes to the point. Because he went into some black neighborhoods in New York City and then interviewed folks there. And they're like, I don't know who's telling you this, sir, but I've got photo ID. And another guy's like, he asked him, says, well, do you know where's the DMV? He gave him the exact, street intersection where the DMV was. He said, everybody around here knows where it's at. Everybody goes there to get their driver's license or their IDs. Ask the kid, how hard is it to get on the internet? It's not hard at all. We all got access to the internet. And then, do you got a photo ID? Well, yeah, absolutely, we got photo ID. I mean, we can't be walking around the city without photo ID. You got to have ID to go places. Because the first time they passed that law here, during Pat McCrory's tenure as governor, we got this big fat whale of a man, if that's the one you want to call him. He looks like the aborted son of the devil, if you ask me. William Barber. He claims to be a reverend. We jokingly refer to him as, the buffet slayer. You don't believe me? Just pull up a picture of William Barber. Dude's huge, and he's got this menacing look. I don't know the man personally. I firmly believe, though, that he is taking all his tactics and techniques straight out of the Al Sharpton race baiting, race pimp, race hustling playbook. But the long story, the short of it is, when the voter ID law here in North Carolina was passed the first time, that was the first thing he did, was got on national TV and said that it was next to impossible for people of color. It suppresses people of color's ability to vote because they can't go and get a driver's license. See, now, what did I just say? I said driver's license, didn't I? You see, they tactically changed their verbiage attacking the law to make it sound as though the law stated you had to have a driver's license in order to vote. The law itself clearly stated photo ID. And they even put a provision in the bill that if you did not have a photo ID, and nor could you afford a photo ID, the state would provide you a photo ID at no charge. You just had to get to the DMV and apply for one. That was it. That was it. But then the question got asked by many people in the Republican Party in this state, and some of them dumb idiots, by the way, because of the way they touted it. But basically, they were like, well, for all you people that got these benefits that y'all are always trying to apply for, don't you have to have photo ID and photo ID to go to the bank? Well, yeah. Okay, so what's the issue of presenting photo ID to vote? Well, nothing. So that one come back to bite both sides. Because the way the right made it sound around here was, it kind of made people feel stupid if they didn't have a photo ID. But in the same regard, it made the left look stupid for those that said, well, I got a photo ID. I don't have a problem showing it to go vote. In other words, the elites are speaking for the population, and that's not what the population wants. Not what the population believes, not what the population is saying. long story short, the butt-faced Slayer gets on there talking about people of color can't go get her. A lot of them they're just not able to get a driver's license. They can't qualify for one. And so the question was asked was, can't pass the test, we can't get to the DM. What's the issue? They tried to get specifics. And then it boiled down to students, college students. What it was, the left was wanting the college students to vote where they're going to school and then be allowed to come back home on their break to vote where they actually reside. And it's like, no. You can't vote twice in the same election in two different districts. Sorry, just no. And that's the way it should be. Okay? But they threw a hissy fit. So that was the other issue. Then it came down to what is acceptable as ID. Well, the people on the left were arguing, well, they should just be able to bring in a bill with their name on it. Okay, you bring in a bill with your name on it. It still doesn't verify who you are. Because prior to all this, you showed up at the election site, they asked you your name and your address. And then they verify based on what you told them. So this becomes the real rub. I could have gone in and voted on my neighbor's behalf. And then I could have gone into Fayetteville and voted for somebody else. And there were several people in certain counties that showed up. And they filed complaints with the election board. Nothing ever happened. They showed up to go vote and were told, you've already voted, sir. You've already voted, ma'am. No, I've never haven't been here until today. I'm sorry, we've got it on record here that you came and checked in to vote. And of course, there's no cameras per se in the polling places, so it's been hard to prove who came in and did that. But see, you go back to photo ID, all right, so somebody else comes in, at least now you've got an idea that there's somebody else that's using a fraudulent ID if that happens, which, don't get me wrong, that's going to be the next thing that's going to start popping up as people's IDs are turning up missing. Or duplicate IDs are being produced without people's knowledge. So just, I just want to touch base on that because the other big push, because right now there's no trending Chinese bioweapon that is keeping people away from going to the polls this year. For the left, that means you've got your 700 jabby stabby of the vaxy waxy, because why? You need to have your 45th booster before you vote, kind of deal. And what else? Those kinds of things. So, who knows what's going to happen on the election this year? Outside of no Chinese bioweapon and the thing, whatever, I'm trying to talk like a Democrat, like we see the issue of what you're saying, but the reality is that we have to circumvent that by coming back around. Because these photo ID laws are racially prejudiced, and they hold back they hold back a large group of people that otherwise erstwhile would come and vote, but they can't get these identification cards or their driver's licenses. They can't get a driver's license and then you got the dummies that sound like Sheila Lee Jackson. These assault rifles that weigh as much as 10 boxes and fire 30 caliber clips. See, it's gotten so bad they can't even lie with a straight face. But anyway, folks, tell me what you think down in the comments down below. Be prepared for what may come. What that is, I couldn't tell you, but just be prepared. Continue to stock up on your dry goods, your ammo, your first aid supplies. Okay? Over-the-counter medicines. All this stuff that could potentially go in real short demand, real quick, real fast. Until I get another one out, this is your friendly neighborhood old soldier. God bless, take care, stay safe.